Motivation Monday. And we're hot.
We hot?
Yeah.
This is it?
This is it.
Wow. Back at it again. Back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle. Dude, fuck, I cooked those pork chops you gave me?
Yeah.
Those were fucking amazing.
I gave you pork chops because I was going on a vacation somewhere, and I said to myself, you know,
you're like, these are going to go bad.
No, you know when you go to the grocery store and you're like, your eyes are bigger than your stomach, and you're like, oh, everything, must buy everything. That's coming along with me. That's coming along with me. That's coming along with me. And then you realize that, like, oh, crap, I'm also got to go on vacation. Wait a second. I bought way too much stuff.
That
for me to use or eat before I go away. Damn it. And so that's exactly what happened.
Well, that whole, like, don't go shopping when you're hungry is so true.
Oh, so true.
Yeah.
So true.
For sure, dude.
Yeah. Also, don't go to the club when you're horny. That's an old Chinese saying.
Don't go to the club while you're horny or else you're going to have to pull the elephant out one bite at a time. What?
That's an old Chinese saying. That's an old Confucius saying. That's an old Confucius saying.
He who walked through airport turnstile sideways, go to Bangkok.
Damn. So I'm glad you actually ate those. Shout out to that. Shout out to pork.
Dude, pork. You know what's funny?
The other white meat.
By the way, so I know we don't have a lot of time, so I don't want to waste too much time.
But hey,
I was looking for a good show to watch. Okay. Emeril Lagasse, who randomly before I was looking for a good show to watch, I had been wondering and talking to my brother-in-law about what the hell happened to Emeril.
Go on. Now, what happened to him, actually? He had a show, now he doesn't have a show.
Well, he had a bunch of shows, and he basically, I think he kind of pioneered what is the Food Network and food shows, period. And he has a ton of products, and as long as he manages money all right, like, he doesn't have to do shit.
Generational wealth.
Yeah.
Generational wealth.
Well, no, I think he made his own wealth.
Oh, okay. No, but he's generational wealth from here on out. Dude.
Oh, yeah. So, like, anyways.
He set everyone up for life.
However, dude, he has this new show. It's on Amazon Prime. Oh, okay. I think it's only like 6 or 7 episodes, but it's called Emeril Eats the World. And it's very, like, reminiscent of, like, Anthony Bourdain.
Well, I like it.
He travels to different countries. He meets up with friends of his who are chefs, who introduce him to people like the local culture, and kind of they explore the local culture through the prism of, or the whatever, the lens of the culinary aspect. And it's really cool. And like he's a guy who's a big enough, personality and shit where he could kind of take over the show. Sure. But he does a really good job of just kind of sitting back and learning from other people.
Love it.
Who are less famous than him. It's very cool. So very, very, very cool.
You definitely highly recommend this show. I
highly recommend it. I think you should definitely watch it. I would start with like probably the Sweden episode.
Okay.
With Marcus Samuelsson, I think his name was. Sure. Awesome. The only one I didn't really
Swedish name to me.
I didn't really love. It's funny, yeah. He was born in Ethiopia. He's an Ethiopian dude who was at a young age he was adopted by a Swedish family, so he grew up in Sweden. But
how cool!
Very, very cool. But the only one I didn't really love was the one with Mario Batali. But I'll be honest, I'm kind of biased. I don't like Mario Batali. I just think he's kind of an asshole. And that's no knock to him. I mean, he's a great chef. He's accomplished. I just don't love his personality. But my point was, in all these countries, pork is like a staple.
Yeah,
it's like their staple meat
everywhere.
Every other country, pretty much, except for here.
Yeah.
And maybe countries where they don't eat pork.
We eat pepperoni like crazy, man.
No, we do. We eat a lot of pork, but I feel like
hot dogs, pepperoni, obviously any kind of
meat. I feel like it's like an undercover staple. Then
bacon. Oh my god, bacon.
No, for sure. But I feel like if you ask people, what are your meat staples, they're like, oh, I have beef and chicken, like ham, beef and chicken, beef and chicken. But I feel like pork is such a cool meat. It's just I don't know, it's different. And the Bible knocked pork, but my personal feeling on that is, when the Bible was written, there wasn't a lot of refrigeration and shit, so trichinosis might have been an issue, so that might be the problem. But hey, if you disagree with me, that's fine. Send your emails to stephenchang@hotmail.com. Anyways, Motivational Monday. Steve, I think you had something you want to cover. Let's jump into it.
Well, here's the biggest thing, man, is that I know that we always kind of talk about what we're doing or how we're doing it or how well we're doing it, but one of the things is that sometimes people have to kind of always kind of remind themselves where they came from. And one of the biggest things I'm always, I was listening to someone online last night, and it was just like, hey, he always has this mentality, and this is the mentality I had for a little while in my 20s, but he's maintained to kind of carry it on where your back is against the wall. And it's not just a Dwayne The Rock Johnson thing, and it's not just I don't know, everyone's kind of had that mentality where, you feel like, oh, I'm against it, and the only way I can get out of it is just by moving forward and progressing, because I can't go backwards because... I feel
like that's a very David Goggins kind of thing.
David Goggins is a perfect example.
But he's like he'll get like really far away from the wall, and then he'll just find another wall to put his back against.
Sure. And I think for anyone that's listening out there and that's like saying, hey man, I'm having a tough go at this thing. I'm having a tough go, whatever you're going through. I totally get you. I totally hear you. I'm I acknowledge what you're saying here, and I acknowledge what you're feeling. And you can honestly, if you kind of have to have that motivation to say, hey, there's nowhere else to go, but just keep on advancing, because every day is every day, and you know what? You just got to keep on pressing forward. Dude, I give you all the credit in the world, man. That's what you got to do. So, if you need that as motivation, awesome. If you honestly can say, hey, if I look retrospectively back for just a moment, I can think about things, and I can kind of go ahead and maybe change. You can't change the past. No matter, even a minute later, you still can't change the past minute in which you lived. But, certainly you can start scrapping your way out, tooth and nail, if that's what you have to do. But yeah.
No, but I get it. Here's the crazy thing. Like, how many times has shit gone down in your life? And for whatever reason, you had to cut. If I said, hey, Steve, can you pull together $5,000? Because I might need to borrow it. You're like, yeah, no. Yeah, I'm fucking poor. But I
love you, man, but I don't have that.
No, but what I'm saying is, but no. But dude, same day or the next day, dude, shit goes down, and it's like, Steve, you need to come up with $5,000, or else you're gonna lose your house.
Yeah.
And I feel like you could probably count a few times that's happened in your life to some extent, and you always find a way to fucking come up with that $5,000 or whatever, metaphorically, whatever that $5,000 is.
Yeah.
I feel like if we live more of our life that way, because when you really need to make something happen, dude, you can fucking reach down into your gut, into your soul, into your whatever, down deep, and you pull out some shit, and you can get some shit done. But then I feel like so much of our life, we don't live it that way. We just kind of meander through.
No, it's very
so
true.
I think that whole back against the wall is kind of, for me at least, it tells me kind of harnessing that attitude or that strength or that drive that you kind of harness when you really need to dig deep to figure out something out, because your back is really against a wall.
Yeah. I feel like I also listened to the episode, or I found something online where it shows how Steve Harvey got his beginning. You know what I mean? And it was just almost like his dad had said something to the effect of, he wanted to call his dad because he was just having a hard time, and he had a few bucks in his pocket, $30 in his pocket or something like that. And he was living out of his car for a year or something like that, if not more. And he called his dad to see if he could come home. And his dad said, sorry, home's closed, And it's almost like his dad, purposely or not so purposely, maybe just out of tough love, was like, dude, you left. You got to make your own way in the world. If you always kind of come back and say, I can always kind of come back, then, you just always know that you can rely on that. And sometimes you got to, what do they always say? Sometimes when people came to the new Americas, they burned the ships in which they kind of came on, saying you can't go back. It's either here or nowhere.
They did that a lot, dude.
And so it's almost like,
that's kind of
you got to sink or swim.
In one of our past episodes, we were talking about if you're trying to lose weight, as you lose weight, throw away your fat clothes.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. You're not
sure.
going back.
For sure.
Because that's like a safety net.
Dude.
And you already made it to where you want to be. So that's not, I guess safety net's the wrong word. It's kind of like a comfort
but it's
thing.
It's a net of some sort. It's a safety precaution. It's insurance, right? And sometimes,
right.
And I'm not saying don't get rid of your home insurance. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No, have your home insurance.
Definitely have your home insurance.
And if you're walking a tightrope, literally have a safety net.
Yeah,
but
I know. But
if you're trying to go to a new place and you don't want to come back, then burn your fucking boat. If you're trying to lose weight, then burn your fucking fat clothes, or actually probably donate them because someone else could probably use them. Yeah, be a good person.
One of the biggest things I want to tell you is that this is the biggest story. Maybe I can leave us with this because I know this is Motivational Monday. It's not supposed to be downtrodden Mondays, but one of the biggest things is Tubby Smith is a American basketball college coach. Amazing guy. I think he's one of the first African-American coaches, wherever. It doesn't matter, at certain schools that he's been off to, whether that be Kentucky, Minnesota, wherever. One of his stories is that he tells about a story about how some college kids now are just kind of I'm transferring schools I don't like, I'm not getting any playing time, and then they leave. And one of his biggest stories is that he recounts a story about how he got a scholarship to a college, and he was like, okay, it's time for me to go. And he tells his dad, hey, Pops, I'm leaving. I'm thinking about, and then he doesn't get the playing time. Either someone was beating him out for playing time, and so he calls back home and says, Dad, I want to come back home. They're not giving me playing time. His dad said simply this: son, room's been taken. I've already rented it out. You can't come back home. Did they cut your scholarship? No, Dad, they didn't cut my scholarship. Did they take away your meals? Did they take away your place to live? No, Dad, they didn't take away any of that stuff. I'm just not getting can't do it. Got the whole, your room's been taken. And the reason that I took away from that story was that he was basically forced to kind of just say, hey, ride it out, tough it out. If someone beats you out for that position, either you beat them out again or you become commonplace, or you're going to get a college education along with everything else that's kind of there. And it's almost like, don't forego the learning lesson and all of it.
When the worst case scenario is you get a free college education.
Yeah, no, I know. You get room and board and you get food and you get 3 scores a day. No, but it's just don't forego the education. Don't forego the lesson, right? And that's kind of it. Even if it's the worst situation or worst moment, don't give up the lesson. And so that's another thing I would say is that you put your back against the wall, but make sure that you know what you're swinging at. And even if you're swinging and just biting tooth and nail, know what you're biting into, know what you're clawing at.
But as they said in the movie, Signs, swing away.
Swing away, Meryl. Swing away.
That's what I'm leaving you with. This episode has been brought to you by Podbelly Podcast Network. Thank you very much. Check out Podbelly at podbelly.com. Check out Project Reclamation at projectreclamationpodcast.com. Email us at projectxreclamation@gmail.com. This is Tim and Steve signing off. Happy fucking Monday. Go get after it. Peace.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.